Okay, now today we will discuss the next synthesis, that is experiment number 3, that is the synthesis of 5,5 diphenyl head. Okay, so today we will discuss the next synthesis, that is the synthesis of 5,5 diphenyl head. It is also called as the phenytoin. Okay, so today the aim is to synthesize and submit 5,5 diphenyl head. Also it is called as the phenytoin, and to determine its percent practically as well as to report its melting point. Okay, so let us see first of all procedure. Now into the procedure, first of all you have to take round bottom flask. Okay, RBF. Okay, so in RBF you have to add first of all 5.3 gram of benzene. 5.3 gram of benzene, crude benzene, you have to add into the round bottom flask. After that, you have to add 3 gram of urea. You have to add 3 gram of urea. After that, you have to add 15 ml of 30% NaOH. Okay, and you have to shake it properly, and you have to mix all the chemicals properly or mixture. After that, you have to add 75 ml of ethanol. Slowly, you have to add, and you have to shake it properly or stir the flask properly. Okay, so after additions of this 5.3 gram of benzene, 3 gram of urea, 15 ml of 30% NaOH solution, and 75 ml of ethanol into the RBF. Then you have to attach it with reflux condenser. Okay, after the attaching the reflux condenser, you have to also join inlet and outlet pipes of these inlet and outlet pipes of the reflux condenser, and you have to continue the water supply, or you have to start the water supply for the inlet and outlet pipes. Okay, after that attachment and outlet and inlet supply of the water. So after that you have to heat this mixture on heating mantle. Okay, for heating mantle for about 2 hours. Okay, this mixture you have to heat for 2 hours. Okay, and occasional shaking is there. Okay, and the temperature should be 50 to 60 degrees centigrade. Okay, so that the continuous heating takes place, and it takes about 2 hours. Okay, there should be occasional shaking. Now after the 2 hours, you have to cool the solution, and then you have to take the beaker which contains cold ice water. Okay, ice cold water, and it should be 125 ml. Okay, you have to take 125 ml of the ice cold water into beaker, and you have to pour this solution into 125 ml of cold water. Okay, so that after that you have to stir it, shake it. Okay, after that you will get the precipitate, or you will get the solids. Okay, so after getting these solids, you have to stand for 15 minutes. You have to stand for 15 minutes. Okay, this solution you have to stand for 15 minutes. Now after 15 minutes, some solids will settle down at the bottom, and after that you have to filter it. Okay, after that you have to filter this mixture with solids. So after the filtration, the solids you have to remove from the filter paper, and into the beaker you get the filtrate. Okay, into the form of liquid. Now this filtrate you have to acidify with concentrate HCl. Okay, you have to acidify with concentrate HCl. So that you have to take blue litmus paper, you have to add HCl until the blue litmus paper convert into blue. Okay, sorry, the blue litmus paper convert into the pink or red. Okay, so after the acidification, you get the precipitate of the phenytoin or the okay, after the procedure, let us see the chemical reactions of synthesis of 5,5 diphenyl head or phenytoin. Okay, so first of all, let us see here the reaction. We are taking the benzene reacted with the urea. Okay, in the presence of ethanol and sodium hydroxide. Okay, so it converted into 5,5 diphenyl head. Okay, so let us see the reaction. So this is the structure of benzene. You can see it contains carbonyl carbon and carbonyl oxygen double bond, carbonyl carbon, carbonyl oxygen double bond. Okay, so every carbon attached to one phenylalanine or the benzene ring. Okay, you can see into the benzene. Urea contains the amino group on the carbonyl carbon. Carbonyl carbon attached with oxygen, and here one amino group is attached to carbon, another amino group attached to this carbonyl carbon. Okay. Now first of all, there is a removal of water molecules. First of all, there is a removal of water molecules, means this oxygen from this benzene carbonyl carbon, it is removed, and one hydrogen from this amino group from urea Okay, another hydrogen from amino group of urea. So two hydrogens from amino groups of urea, it will be removed as water molecules along with the oxygens of the benzene. Okay, now after the removal of this oxygen, this carbon in carbon is electron deficient, acquires positive charge. Okay, and another carbon in carbon of this benzene contains carbon oxygen double bond. So this double bond break, lone pair of electron shifted on next oxygen. Okay, so oxygen will act as negative charge and this carbon will act as positive charge. Okay, so after that here urea contains amino group. Okay, so nitrogen will act as negative charge, lone pair of electron, because this hydrogen give lone pair of electron on nitrogen. Another nitrogen also act as negative charge and lone pair of electron, because this hydrogen give lone pair of electron on nitrogen. So this nitrogen, it is electron rich and this carbon is electron deficient. So it will attack on this electron deficient carbon atom, that is the nitrogen. So after that this nitrogen will attach on this carbon atom. On the other hand, this another nitrogens of amino group also acquires negative charge and lone pair of electron. So it will be attacked on the another carbon electron deficient of the benzene ring. Okay, so this nitrogen will attack on this electron deficient carbon atom. So another amino group will attach on this carbon. So in this way, there is a formation of the ring structure. Now this ring structure, it is called as the 5,5 diphenyl heteromer. Okay, so you can see this ring starting from this nitrogen as heteroatom, another nitrogen as heteroatom. Okay, after that there is a ketonic group, carbon oxygen double bond on the ring. Another ring is the ketonic group, carbon oxygen on double ring. Also two phenyl rings on the fifth number carbon. So you have to give the number, this nitrogen heteroatom first, this carbon ketonic carbon second, another nitrogen, it is third, another ketonic carbon fourth, and fifth number, that carbon there is a substitution by two phenyl rings. Okay, so 5 number of this carbon of this hidden coil contains two phenyl ring as substituent. So it is 5, 5 diphenyl hidden coil. Okay, now remaining structure, it is the hidden coil, contains nitrogen, two nitrogen as heteroatom. Okay, and two carbons are ketonic group. So it is hidden coil. So we get 5, 5 diphenyl hidden coil. Okay, so this is about the chemical reactions of this 5, 5 diphenyl hidden coil or phenolphane. So after the chemical reaction, let us see the reaction mechanism of this synthesis. Okay, after the chemical reaction, let us see the reaction mechanism of this synthesis. Okay, so let us see here. First of all, benzene and urea, they will condense to each other. Okay, now here I am taking the condensed structure or the bond line structure of this benzene and its atoms. Okay, so pH, it is the phenyl, another pH, it is the phenyl ring. Okay, and here the carbon, it is here also presence of carbon oxygen double bond, this carbon attachment of this phenyl ring, this carbon attached to phenyl ring as well as the carbon oxygen double bond. Okay, so it is the structure of benzene. Another, it is the urea. Urea contains the amino groups. This is one amino group, this is second amino group. Okay, so two amino groups and this carbon attached to oxygen by double bond. This is the structure of urea. Now when benzene, urea reacted to each other in the presence of sodium hydroxide and ethyl alcohol, so we get 1,2 diol, and it is called as the pin alcohol. Okay, so let us see. First of all, in benzene, first of all there is condensation of this benzene with urea. Okay, so here this carbon oxygen double bond break, lone pair of electrons shifted on, more electronegative oxygen atom. Okay, so this oxygen will electron rich. Another carbon oxygen double bond break, lone pair of electrons shifted on, more electronegative oxygen atom. So this oxygen is negatively charged and lone pair of electron. This carbon is electron deficient. Okay, now here this oxygen will abstract one hydrogen from this amino group of urea. Another oxygen also abstract one hydrogen from another amino group of urea towards itself. So this O become, oxygen become OH. So this O become OH. Okay, this O also become OH. Okay, now this hydrogen after removal, it gives lone pair of electron towards nitrogen. So this nitrogen is electron rich and negative charge. Okay. Also this hydrogen from amino group of another amino group, this hydrogen gives lone pair of electron on this nitrogen. So this nitrogen is electron rich, okay, and negative charge. So electron rich nitrogen attack on electron deficient carbon atom. Electron rich nitrogen also attack on the another carbon of the ring, which is electron deficient, like this. And there is a condensation between them. Okay, like this. So this amino group attached to this carbonyl carbon of benzene. Another amino group of urea attached to the carbonyl carbon of benzene. Okay, so there is a formation of condensed structure. So you can see on the board here formation of this condensed structure, that is this amino group attached to this carbon, this amino nitro group attached to this carbon. Okay, so and the oxygen become OH after the taking hydrogen from nitrogen. So here formation of OH group, here formation of OH group. Two phenyl groups are attached on the both carbon atom, and here into the ring nitrogen, two nitrogens are present along with this carbon oxygen double bond. So we get this structure, it is called as the pinapol. This structure it is called as the pinapol because here it is also called as the 1,2 diol. Diol means dipole. Diol, di means two, pole means hydroxyl group or the alkylic group. Okay, so here this is first number carbon and this is second number carbon. Okay, first number carbon there is the presence of this OH group. Okay, or it is alkylic group or it is hydroxyl group. Second number carbon also contains attachment of this OH group or hydroxyl group. Okay, so it is 1,2 diol. 1,2 diol means adjacent carbon, two adjacent carbon contains two OH group. Okay, on each carbon atom. So it is 1,2 diol. Okay, so it is also called as a pinapol. OEN will represent here pinapol or alkylic group. So this it is pinapol. Okay, means what is mean by pinapol? What do you mean by the pinapols? What do you mean by pinapol? Means the completely substituted 1,2 diol. Okay, this is first number carbon attachment of this OH group. Second number carbon also attachment of OH group. So it is 1,2 diol. Okay, so the remaining carbon it is also attached to the phenyl group as well as the another ring carbon. Another carbon it is also attached to the phenyl group and the ring carbon. So it is completely substituted. This carbon there is attachment of this OH group. It is completely substituted 1,2 diol. Okay, this carbon it is completely substituted. Okay, so it is called as the completely substituted 1,2 diol. So it is on the treatment or it is called as the pinapol. So this carbon and another carbon it is completely called as the pinapol. Okay. Now when on the treatment with this pinapol on the treatment with mineral acids like as the HCl. Okay, so they undergo the dehydration as well as the rearrangement reactions. Okay, so to form the ketones. Okay, so this pinapol that is 1,2 completely substituted diol when on the treatment with mineral acid like the concentrated HCl, so they undergo the dehydration and followed by the rearrangement reaction to form the ketone. Okay, so it is called as the pinapol rearrangement. It is called as the pinapol pinacolone rearrangement. This is called as the pinacolone rearrangement, or simply it is called as the pinapol rearrangement. Now pinacolone it contains ONE at the last, that is the ketone group. Means from the 1,2 diol and after the dehydration of this 1,2 diol and after the rearrangement of this 1,2 diol or pinapol, it converted into ketone group. That is our final compound, that is the hidden toic or phenotype. It contains the two ketone group. So it is called as the pinacolone rearrangement or also called as the pinapol rearrangement. Okay. So now let us see the pinacolone rearrangement. Now up to the formations of this 1,2 diol, after that there is a pinacolone rearrangement takes place. Okay, up to this structure formation, it is the 1,2 diol because on the two adjacent there is presence of OH group or hydroxyl group on every carbon atom, that is first and second number carbon atom. So it is 1,2 diol, or it is also called as the pinacol. Up to this structure, after that this structure, there is a pinacol pinacolon rearrangement. From the starting from this 1,2 diol structure or pinacol up to the formation of the phenytoin or the heteroin, there is a whole rearrangement. This rearrangement reaction, it is called as the pinacolon rearrangement. Okay, so let us see. So first of all, we get the 1,2 diol, so it is called as the pinacol. Okay, so this pinacol, on pinacol rearrangement, we get the final compound, that is our heteroin or phenotone or the cyclic ketone. Okay, so this 1,2 diol or pinacol on treatment with HCl, so there is a protonation takes place of this 1,2 diol. Okay, so this is 1,2 diol, and the one OH group contains, if you consider any one OH group contains oxygen contains lone pair of electron, so it will access the base. Okay, so this base will attract one proton, or the acid will give proton this oxygen or OH group negatively charged or hydroxide ion. Okay, now we are using the HCl. Now this HCl acts as acids. Okay, so it will donate proton. Okay, so this proton will be attracted by this OH negative ions. Okay, so it will be protonated. Okay, this hydroxyl ion, then it will be protonated, and finally we get here the OH2 positively charged. Okay, because of the lone pair of electron, it is on the oxygen, it is taken by this hydrogen or proton, so it becomes OH2, and due to the loss of the lone pair of electron for the formation of bond with the hydrogen, so this oxygen will acquire positive charge. Okay, so we get the OH2 positively charged. Okay, so it is called as the protonation of the 1,2 diol. Okay, after the protonation of 1,2 diol, we get the protonated diol. We get in this way protonated diol. Okay, so proton is on the OH group, so it is the protonated diol. Now after the protonated diol, the next step is formation of carbonium ion by loss of water. Okay, so after the protonated diol, so there is a next step, it is the formation of the carbonium ion, and there is a by the loss of the H2O molecules or the water molecules. Now first of all, what is meant by carbonium ion? Carbonium ion, it is the electron deficient carbon species, that is the carbon which contains positive charge. Okay, so it is called as the carbonium ion. Carbonium ion, it is the electron deficient carbon, it is called as the carbonium ion, and electron rich carbon, it is called as the carbanium ion. Okay, so two species will there for the carbon positive and carbon negative. So we have to study here electron deficient carbon atom, that is the carbonium ion. Okay, now this protonated diol, after the dehydration, means loss of water molecules, this OH2 positive, it will be removed as good living group as water. So after the removal of this OH2 positive in the form of water, there is a formation of the carbonium ion, that is the formation of the positive charge on this carbon, because this oxygen of this OH2, it will remove along with the bonded electrons from this carbon of the ring. So this carbon, there is a loss of electrons, so this carbon will acquire positive charge. Okay, so it is called as the carbonium, or it is also called as the carbocation. Okay, so in this way, loss of H2O and good living group, so we get the carbonium ion. We get the carbonium ion here. Okay, this carbon acquires positive charge, and there is a removal of OH2 group here from this second number carbon. Okay, so this carbon is electron deficient, acquires positive charge, and it is called as the carbonium ion. Okay, so in this way, formation of the carbonium ion. Now this carbonium ion on rearrangement, means the rearrangement of this carbonium ion, okay, takes place. So there is a rearrangement takes place. Rearrangement means there is a shuffling, or there is a transfer of one group from one side, or one carbon to another carbon, okay, or one place to another place inside the molecules, or in the same molecules. So this transfer will form the another rearranged compounds. So it is called as the rearrangement. So, or it is also called as the shuffling or reshuffling also of the atoms or group inside the molecules. Okay, or one atoms will transfer from one place to another place, or one atom to another place. okay, to form the next rearranged compound. So there is a rearrangement of this carbonium ion, okay, by the particular 1,2 phenyl shift. Okay, 1,2 phenyl shift means from first number carbon to second number carbon there is a transfer or shift of this phenyl ring to the second number carbon along with the bonded electron. So it is called as the 1,2 phenyl shift. Okay, so to give protonated ketone, so that we get the protonated ketone. Okay, so here phenyl ring is present and this phenyl ring attached to this carbon. So this is first number carbon. This is another phenyl ring. Okay, it is second number carbon attached to second number carbon. Now second number carbon, there is attachment of this phenyl ring as well as there is a positive charge. So it is the carbocation on the second number carbon of the ring. Okay, so this phenyl ring along with their bonded electron from the first number carbon, it is shifted or it is migrated towards this electron diffusion or positively charged second number carbon inside the on the ring. Okay, so there is a rearrangement takes place. So in this way we get this structure. Okay, you can see here on the second number carbon there is a attachment of these two phenyl rings. Now this is first phenyl ring and this is second phenyl ring on the same carbon atom on the second number. Okay, so after the loss of phenyl ring as well as the sigma bond from the first number carbon, this first number carbon here it is electron diffusion. It will be electron diffusion and aqueous positive charge because the phenyl ring along with the bonded electron it is shifted on the second number carbon. Okay, so the second number carbon bears now two phenyl rings, so that this first number carbon it is electron diffusion by the loss of phenyl ring and bonded electron. So it acquires positive charge. Okay. Now here OH group also attached on this second number carbon atom, first number carbon atom. Okay, so this OH group contains lone pair of electron on the oxygen. So this lone pair of electron it is used for the formation of the carbon oxygen double bond, that is the ketonic group, that is electron diffusion carbon atom and oxygen lone pair of electron, they will form the carbon oxygen double bond between them and formation of the particular ketonic group. Okay, and this oxygen will acquire then positive charge because donation of lone pair of electron. So you get this ketone and this ketone it is called as the protonated ketone. Okay, so you can see this carbon oxygen double bond present, oxygen attached to this ring carbon by the double bond and this hydrogen also attached to this oxygen and oxygen acquires positive charge. Okay, so it is called as the protonated ketone. Protonated ketone means the ketonic oxygen contains hydrogen. Okay, this ketonic oxygen contains hydrogen and oxygen acquires positive charge, so it is called as the protonated ketone. Okay, so after the formation of protonated ketone, there is a removal of this hydrogen atom and finally we get the headache or phenotene into the next step. So let us see that step. Okay, after the formation of the protonated ketone into the previous steps, so into the next step there is a formation of phenotene by the loss of proton. Okay, by the loss of proton, formation of the phenotene. Okay. So first of all, the protonated ketone contains oxygen positively charged and there is attachment of hydrogen. So this oxygen it is stabilized, the oxygen having positive charge, this positive charge on the oxygen it is stabilized by the removal of this hydrogen. Okay, this hydrogen it is abstracted by this chlorine negative ions. This chlorine negative ions into the step number 1, that is the protonation of the pinnacle. Okay, so we are using the SCl. In that hydrogen it is attached to the pinnacle, or we get the protonated 1,2 diol. So the remaining it is chlorine into the solution of the HCl. So this chlorine then abstracts this hydrogen of the protonated ketone and there is a formation of this 5,5 diphenyl head or phenol. Okay, so this hydrogen it is removed or abstracted by this chlorine negative ions towards this step. So after the removal of this hydrogen from towards the chlorine, so there is a removal of HCl. Okay, and this hydrogen gives lone pair of electron with electron diffusion oxygen atom to stabilize the charge. Okay, and to form the ketone. So after the removal of this hydrogen, this oxygen charge will stabilize and finally we get 5,5 diphenyl head or it is phenotene. That is this oxygen carbon double bond. That is the ketonic group is formed. That is it is called as the quinacolone. Okay, so there is a formation of quinacolone quinacolone in that O and E at the last, it is the presence of ketonic group. So here this is first number nitrogen, this is second number ketone, this is third and fourth. Means second and fourth number carbon, there is the presence of ketonic group. Okay. So in this way, there is a formation of this 5,5 diphenyl or phenol, or it is also called as the phenol. Okay. Now this is about the reaction as well as the mechanism of synthesis of 5,5 diphenyl. After the mechanism and chemical reaction, let us see the calculation parts of the synthesis. Okay, now the next part, it is the calculation of this synthesis. We do the calculation. First of all, we will calculate the theoretic yield of the benzene as well as the theoretic yield of the phenol. Okay, so let us see first is theoretic yield of the benzene. Okay, so let us see the molecular formula of benzene. This is the structure of the benzene. Okay, so benzene having the molecular formula, that is C14H10O2. Okay, means two phenyl rings contains 6 carbon in each phenyl ring into the benzene. So it is 6 plus 6, it is 12, and these two carbon in carbon, so it is total 14. So it is C14. Okay, hydrogens. Now hydrogens, this ring contains 5 hydrogen, another ring, phenyl ring contains 5 hydrogen, so it is 10 hydrogens. Okay. After that, oxygens are 2, so it is H10O2. So the complete formula of the benzene, it is molecular formula, that is C14H10, 2 oxygens. Okay. So calculate the molecular weight. Okay. So take the molecular weight or atomic weight of the carbon, hydrogen and oxygen. Okay. So carbon having 12 atomic weight or the molecular weight of the carbon, it is 12. Okay. So 12 into 14 carbons are present, so 12 into 14. Okay. And hydrogen, it is atomic number, atomic weight, it is 1. Okay, or molecular weight of hydrogen, it is 1. So 10 hydrogens are present, so it is 1 into 10, plus oxygen having atomic weight, it is 16, or molecular weight, it is 16, so 16 into 2 oxygen. So it will be 12 into 14 plus 1 into 10 plus 16 into 12. So it is equal to 210 gram per mole. Okay, so benzene molecular weight will be 210 gram per mole. Okay. On the other hand, let us see the molecular weight of phenyl. Okay, so molecular formula of phenotene, it is C15H12N2O2. Okay, so this is the structure of the phenotene, you can see. So first of all, C15 carbons. So these two rings contains 12 carbon, 6 plus 6, 12, and this ring carbon of this headed coil is 1. Okay, and this ketonic group, another carbon, this another ketonic group also carbon. So 3 carbon plus this 12 carbons of the ring, so it is 15, C15. Hydrogen, it is this 5 plus 5, 10 of the ring. Okay, and nitrogen contains 2 hydrogens on every nitrogen into the ring, so it is H12. Okay, so 10 plus 2 is equal to H12, 12 hydrogens. Now nitrogens are 2 and oxygens also are 2. Okay, and 2O. Okay, so calculate the molecular weight and molecular atomic number, that is 12 into 15, 1 into 12 plus 14 into 2 plus 16 into 2. So is equal to 252 gram per mole. Okay, so 252 gram per mole, it is the molecular weight of this phenol. Okay, so look at again, now look at the calculations part. Okay, so 210 gram per mole of the benzene, it gives 252 gram per mole of the head and tail. Okay, so into the procedure we have taken 5.3 gram of phenotene, 5.3 gram of this benzene. Okay, so it gives how much? This X gram of this weight of this phenotene. Okay, so we have to find out the weight of the phenotene, so that will be X gram. Okay, so X gram is equal to 5.3 into 252 divided by 10. That is the cross multiplication. This 5.3 gram, it will be multiplied by 252 gram. Okay, and divided by 210. Okay, so X will comes out. So 5.3 gram into 252, 5.3 into 252 divided by 210. So it gives 6.36 gram. It gives 6.36 gram. Okay, so 6.36 gram, it is the theoretical yield of this phenotene. Okay, theoretical yield of the head and tail or phenotene, it is the 6.36 gram. Okay, so after that 6.36 gram theoretically, let us do the next calculation part. Now, here the next part of the practical, after the calculations of the theoretical yield, that is the 6.36 gram of the phenotone or hereditary, this is the theoretical yield. The next part, it is the practical yield. Now, practical yield, that is our compound. The actual compound we get into the dried form, it is the weight, it is 5.80 gram. Okay, the weight of the dried phenotone crude drugs or the crude compound, it is 5.8 gram. Okay, that is the weight. Now, the melting point we have calculated or we have measured or we have taken of this phenotone or hereditary of the dry product. So, it is 296 degrees centigrade, approximately 296 to 298 degrees centigrade. Okay. Now, after that, next part it is the calculations of the percent practical yield. Okay. Next is percent practical yield calculation. Okay. Now we have the formula, that is practical yield upon theoretical yield into 100. For the calculation of practical yield, there is a formula, that is the practical yield upon theoretical yield into 100. Okay. So practical yield it is 5.80. Theoretical yield it is 6.36 into 100. So after the calculation, we get the percent practical yield, it is 91.90%. Okay. So this is about this will be the percent practical yield of the phenotone or the hereditary. Okay. Now after that, next is uses. Now this phenotone or the hereditary, it is used as anti-epileptic drug or the agent. It is used into the epilepsy disease. Okay, epileptic disorder of, it is the disorder of the CNS or the central nervous system of the brain. That is the epilepsy, or that is the convulsion. It contains the convulsion, or it is the involuntary movements of the upper jaws or the face or the lower limb or the upper limbs, and the patient it is unconscious. Okay, so that is the epilepsy, and this is the convulsions which is occur during the epileptic attack. Okay, so for that we are giving the anti-epileptic drug to minimize, to reduce such type of epileptic attack or the seizures into the patients. Okay, so it is used as anti-epileptic agents or anti-convulsant agents. Okay, now this is about the synthesis of phenotone or 5,5 diphenylhereditary. Okay, this is the completion of this experiment.
Now let us see the procedure, the actual practical and procedure for synthesis of 5,5 diphenyl hereditary. It is also called as the phenotone. Okay, so as per the procedure, we want some chemicals as well as the apparatus for the synthesis of 5,5 diphenyl hereditary as well as the phenotone. Okay, so first of all we want some chemicals. So chemicals are, we want benzene. Okay, we want benzene. Another chemical, it is urea. After that, sodium hydroxide, it is 30% NaOH solution. Okay, after that we require ethanol. It is also called as the lab solvent. Okay, we also want ethanol. Okay, also we required HCl concentrate to acidify the particular final solution to our compound. Okay, HCl it is present in fuming wood, so it is not present here. So for taking the HCl, we will go for to the fuming hood, toward the fuming hood, and we will take from there HCl. Okay, so we also required 30% of Na, 30% of the NaOH solution or sodium hydroxide solution. Okay, so as per the procedure, so first of all you have to take this benzene. Okay, and you have to take urea and 30% of NaOH solution. Okay, in round bottom flask. Okay, so these are the chemicals we required for the synthesis of, so all these chemicals are required for the synthesis of phenotone. Okay, or hereditary. Okay, so this is about the chemicals. Now look at about the apparatus. Now apparatus, we want basically this round bottom flask. Okay, to carry out the heating into the round bottom flask of the solution. Chemical reaction solution will be heated in round bottom flask. Okay, along with there is a reflux condenser we want. So reflux condenser along with this round bottom flask, this is the assembly for the synthesis of phenytoin or the hydantoin. Also we require the inlet and outlet pipes. Okay. Also we require the heating mantle. This is the heating mantle. Okay. Heating mantle, you can see on using heating mantle we have to heat this reaction mixture for 2 hours. Okay. So this is some apparatus. Also we required into apparatus, that is the measuring cylinder, 100 ml capacity, stirrer for stirring, glass funnel. Okay. After that, tripod stand, filter paper, etc. for the filtration. Okay. Also we require the thermometer for taking the melting point also. Okay. So these are the apparatus which are used for the synthesis of the phenytoin or the hydantoin. Okay. So let us see the procedure. First of all, uh, let us see the procedure. So first of all, we have to place 5.3 gram of benzoin, 3 gram of urea, and 15 ml of 30% NaOH. Okay, and 75 ml of ethanol in RBF. Okay. So first of all, we have to take 5.3 gram of benzene. Okay, we have to take 5.3 gram of benzene. I have taken here 5.3 gram of benzene, then 3 gram of urea. This is 3 gram of urea, and we have to pure this uh, particular 5.3 gram of benzene first, then 3 gram of urea into round bottom flask we have to add into the round bottom flask. After that, we have to pure 15 ml of 30% NaOH solution into the round bottom flask. Then we have to add this ethanol or the lab solvent, that is 70 ml. Okay. Then we have to heat this solution on this heating mantle. There is attachment of this reflux condenser and round bottom flask, and heating on the this heating mantle. Okay. So this is simple procedure. So let us do the practical. Now first of all, we have to add 5.3 gram of benzene. Okay. So this is benzene, 5.3 gram of benzene, and we have to add into round bottom flask. Okay. So I am adding the benzene into the round bottom flask. This is the round bottom flask. I am adding here the benzene. Okay. All benzene I have added into the round bottom flask. It is 5.3 gram. Okay. After that, second chemical, that is 3 gram of urea, we have to add again into the round bottom flask. Okay. This urea I am adding into this round bottom flask. Okay. So all urea 3 gram I have added into this round bottom flask. Okay. After that, additions of this 5.3 gram of benzene and 3 gram of urea into the round bottom flask. Then you have to add 15 ml of 30% 15 ml of 30% NaOH solution. Okay, so this is 30% of NaOH solution. So you have to take 50 ml and you have to add into this round bottom flask gradually or slowly with stirring. Okay, so let us do this. Okay, I have measured or I have taken this particular 30% of NaOH solution into this particular measuring cylinder. Okay, I am pouring this into this round bottom flask. Okay, slowly. There should be shaking. Okay, you have to shake this flask properly like this. Slowly you have to add this NaOH solution. Then you have to shake the flask properly. Okay, slowly you have to add and you have to shake this flask continuously. So NaOH 30% NaOH solution I have added into this round bottom flask along with benzene and urea. Okay. Now I have added all the NaOH solution, that is 15 ml of 30% into this round bottom flask. Okay, you can see. Now 30% NaOH solution you can prepare by taking 30 gram of NaOH solid and dissolve into 100 ml of water, so that will be 30%. Okay. So after that additions of this NaOH solution, we have to add 75% of 75 ml of this rectified spirit or lab solvent or ethanol, that is 70 ml. Okay, we have to add into this mixture slowly. Okay, so let us do this. Okay, in this way I have taken 75 ml of ethanol into measuring cylinder. So let us transfer this 75 ml of ethanol into this round bottom flask solution. Okay, slowly, like this. Okay, after additions of this ethanol, slowly you have to add, or you have to try, you have to shake it, or you have to stir it. Okay, then again you have to add slowly in portion this ethanol. Okay, and then again you have to shake properly. Okay, so all the solids of the benzene and urea will dissolve into the ethanol after the additions of this 75 ml of ethanol solution. Okay, so you have to add this ethanol in portion and you have to shake it properly. So all the urea, NaOH as well as this particular benzene also dissolve into ethanol. Okay, so I have added all the ethanol into this solution or into this mixture. Okay, so after the additions of this all ethanol as well as the all chemicals, that is the benzene, okay, 5.3 gram, after that 3 gram of the urea, 15 ml of 10% NaOH solution and 75 ml of ethanol into this RBF, and after the shaking properly and shaking well this mixture, so the next step it is we have to heat this solution for 2 hours on this heating mantle. Okay, so after the heating with for 2 hours on heating mantle this mixture, after that next procedure will be we have to pour this mixture after 2 hours heating into 125 ml cold water, okay, containing beaker. Then after that we have to allow for particular 15 minutes this solution. After that we have to allow for 15 minutes, then some insoluble byproducts will settle down, okay, at the bottom, and after that we have to filter it, and after the filtration, okay, we get the filtrate, and we have to then this filtrate acidify with concentrated HCl, okay, and finally we get the precipitate of the phenytoin or the hedantoin. Okay, after that we have to filter it and we have to wash with water, and after that we have to recrystallize it from using ethanol as solvent. Okay, so let us start the heating of this solution for 2 hours on heating mantle. Okay, let us see here. I have attached this reflux condenser assembly, okay, and on heating mantle, and heating it is started now. Okay, so for 2 hours you have to heat it. Okay, so look at here this reflux condenser and round bottom flask assembly. Okay, this is heating mantle, and on heating mantle there is a I have placed this round bottom flask, and the solution is heating on this round bottom flask. Temperature I have maintained here 70 degree, approximately 70 degree. Okay, so it contains the inflammable substance, that is the ethanol. So I have adjusted the temperature up to 70 degree centigrade. Okay, so here this is the reflux condenser and this is the round bottom flask. Okay, now here you can see this is the inlet pipe, this is the inlet. Okay, you can see this is inlet, and this inlet it is going towards this inlet input of this reflux condenser. and after that this is water supply from inlet, and this water supply then continue to up to this tube. After that there is a outlet. This is the outlet tube, you can see, and it is going into this basin. Okay, so it is continuously water flow on this reflux condenser by the inlet and the outlet pipe water supply. Okay, like this. Now we have to heat this solution for 2 hours, okay, with occasional shaking or frequent shaking, and the temperature should be 70 to 80 degree, okay, throughout the reactions. Okay, so after the 2 hours we will do the next procedure. Okay, so let us heating the, or let us do the heating of this solution for 2 hours. Okay, now after the heating, after the 2 hours, we have to add the solution, that is this solution we have to add into the 125 ml of cold water or ice cold water. Okay, and then you have to stir it properly. Okay, so you have to add slowly, okay, like this, and then you have to stir it. Okay, you have to stir it by using stirrer, like this. Slowly you have to add, and slowly you have to stir. Okay, so you have to add this solution into the cold water, and then you have to stir properly. Okay, so you can stir it properly. So you have to add all the solutions with stirring into the 125 ml of cold water or ice cold water. Okay, and after that you have to stir it properly. Okay, so I have added all the solutions or mixture after 2 hours heating into the 125 ml of ice cold water, and I have stirred it properly. Okay, now after stirring and after the transferring all the liquids or all the mixture into this ice cold water, then you have to keep this solution aside for 15 minutes, or you have to uh, keep this solution for further 15 minutes. Okay, so stand for 15 minutes, okay, this solution. Then after that you have to filter it. So after the filtration you get the filtrate, and in this filtrate you have to acidify this filtrate, okay, by using concentrate HCl, and after the acidification you will get the precipitate of the phenytoin or hydantoin. Okay, so we have to keep this solution for 15 minutes. Okay, so after 15 minutes we will acidify this, we will filter it, and after the filtration the filtrate will we have filtrate, and then we will acidify this solution with concentrate HCl. Okay, now after the 15 minutes we stand this solution for 15 minutes. Now after 15 minutes you can see there is a presence of these solids. Okay, so these solids are settled down, okay, at the bottom. Now you have to filter this solution. Okay, so let us see. Now let us do the filtration. Okay, so we have to filter this solution by using simple filtration assembly. Okay, so all solution you have to filter by the filtration, and finally you get the filtrate. So this filtrate you have to then acidify. Slowly you have to filter this solution. Okay, after that you will get the filtrate. Now I have transferred all the solution and I have filtered this solution. So you can see here we obtain the filtrate. Okay, in this way we obtain the filtrate. So in this way I filter all the solution mixture okay, by the filtration, and finally we get this filtrate. Okay, this is the filtrate as we obtain. Now this filtrate you have to then acidify with concentrate HCl. Okay, so here concentrate hydrochloric acid or concentrate HCl you can see. So by using this HCl you have to acidify this filtrate. Okay, now this filtrate you have to acidify by using blue litmus paper. So you have to put up the blue litmus paper into the solution, then you have to add the HCl. Okay, then until the blue litmus turns to pink, up to that you have to add the HCl, and after the acidification then you get the turbidity, or you will get the precipitates of this hedentoin or the phenytoin. Okay, so let's do the acidification of this solution. Okay, now I adding the HCl. Okay, now I am adding this HCl. Okay, slowly into the. Okay, now I have added I have added the hydrochloric acid. Okay, into this mixture. So we get the precipitate after the acidification. Okay, after the acidify this mixture of phentoin or hedentoin, you can see. Okay, so after the additions of this HCl, and after the acidification of this mixture by hydrochloric acid, okay, so there is a formation of precipitate. So you can see there is a formation of this white color precipitate. Okay, also the blue litmus paper turns blue, turns red. Also the blue litmus paper turns red or pink after the acidification of this uh, particular mixture of hedentoin, and formation of the phenytoin or the hedentoin after the additions of the HCl, you can see. Now we get this final compound, that is the this precipitate of this phenytoin or hedentoin. Okay, it should be white color. Okay, now the next step it is the filtration of this final compound. Okay, so let us see, or let us do the filtrations of this final compound. Okay, you can see here I am doing the filtrations of the final compound, that is the phenytoin. Okay, so here filtration assembly. So you can see on the filter paper the final compound, the solids of phenytoin. Okay, you can see this compound. Okay, white color compound. So you have to I am again doing filtration of this compound. So you get the shiny crystals. Okay, on the filter paper you can see. Okay, so large amount of product you will get, or the practical yield will be very large. Okay, quantity after doing this experiment and after the procedure, if you follow properly. Okay, so I am filtering whole mixture or all the products. So filtration will be takes 5 to 10 minutes of this product, because it the final product it is very large in quantity. Okay, so for filtration it requires times. So you can also take another filtration assembly for the filtrations of this final compound. Okay, so it will be very fast filtration if you take two assemblies. Okay. So I have pour all the mixture of this final compound, that is phenytoin, into the filtration assembly, you can see. Okay, so all the solids of this phenytoin it is filter out. Okay, on filter paper you can see. Okay, also I have also filter on the another filtration assembly, so we get another product here. Okay, filtration after the filtration. Okay, here also filtration is completed. Now I will combine these both the solids. Okay, and after that the next step it is the drying process. Okay, in hot air oven at about 40 to 50 degree centigrade you have to dry this final product, wet product, okay, or moist products until the dryness. Okay, so after drying you have to take the wet, and also you have to take the melting point. Okay, after melting point you have to go for the recrystallization by using ethanol as solvent. Okay, now after recrystallization you have to take again melting points. Okay, and you have to compare the melting point that is before recrystallization of phenytoin and after recrystallization of phenytoin. Okay, so this melting point comparison you have to study, okay, for your reference. Okay, so let us do the drying process of this final compound. Okay, after drying you can see this final compound of this phenytoin. Okay, so this drying of this phenytoin it is completed. Now let us do the next step, that is the weighing of this final compound. So we get the practical yield. Okay, after taking the practical yield we will go for the theoretical yield calculation and percent practical yield. Okay, so let us do these final parts of this experiment.